What is happening, everyone? Welcome back to G-Ball Vision. I am excited to present to you guys today my entire Kubey knives collection. We have never done a Kubey knives collection update video on the channel yet, and I am excited to do so because Kubey is one of my favorite production knife companies, and they do a fantastic job. Now, we're going to touch on each knife that I have from Kubey, and we're going to do it fairly quickly. That way we can get through all of them in a reasonable amount of time so you can sit back and relax and enjoy the show here. Now, before we even get started with the 122 here, Kubey right now is running a massive sale on a bunch of different knives. Within that sale, they have an extra discount that I have linked down in the description right now, plus the website is linked down there. But on their D2 line, whatever they have left is on sale, and you can apply a 37% off coupon code that I'll have linked down there. They're going to have a bunch of other knives on sale as well. I do not know every knife that is on sale right now. There is a bunch, and whatever D2 knives are on a crazy sale. And the KU122 here will fall into that sale. D2 blade steel, nice low drop point, cut out for deployment. Detent is tuned nicely. They should have bead blasted and coated. Some knives will have a satin finish, which we'll see here later on. Different colored G10s. This one is orange, deep carry steel rollover clip. That'll be reversible. Great access to the liner. And for 20 to 30 bucks, that is a fantastic price for the 122. Next up, we have the Kubey Dugu. Coming in 14C 28N steel, we have a nice black wash Tanto blade. We have a cutout and rear flipper tab for the deployment. Detent is tuned nicely. JG10 handle, black liners, black hardware. This is one case where I like the JG10. It don't bother me in this case. Everything is all blacked out. This would make a nice little secondary knife in 14C 28N. Nice fit and finish. Great access to the liner. We have internal milling for weight relief in there. The Kubey Dugu is one of my favorite Kubeys. So a couple that you've seen lately are the Kubey Titus here, or the 322. This one is coming in with a black wash D2 blade. This falls into that sale. Even the Ultim falls into that sale. And they have a couple different G10s and blade finishes. We have blacked out liners, blacked out hardware, and these are coming in like in the low 30s, I think. It's insane to get this quality of a knife in that price point. Is phenomenal. The 322 here is a fantastic EDC knife at a crazy good price. Now here's one of the satin finish blades I was talking about. This is the Talia D2. This is in that sale as well, and there's going to be a couple different flavors of this guy. We have a nice long drop point blade, little bit of a straight into a belly, into that nice tip. We have a nice big cutout and front flipper. This is probably one of the best tuned G10 knives I have from Kubey, and it's one of the best tuned Kubey knives I have in general. The front flipper is so well executed. I've actually been raving about this knife over the last week or so. We have Coyote Tan G10, satin hardware, and we have a deep carry reversible clip. Great access to that liner. Full size knife here, and at the price point, guys, it's insane. It's a no-brainer if you are in this type of market or looking for a user. It's a no-brainer. Next up, we have the Kubey Noble, which is the third newest knife here. D2, this falls into that sale as well. Swedge going to the tip, nice low drop point or sheep's foot, modified sheep's foot style of blade. We have a rear flipper tab for deployment, and it works awesome. It's canted down, so you can get a lot of leverage on it. Black wash, D2. We have Coyote Tan G10 here again with all blacked out hardware this time. Just a nice looking knife, and you can get a nice comfortable pistol style grip on this guy. Nice fine jimping here. Coming in again at a crazy affordable price, falling into that D2 sale. Just a great knife. Who's looking for a Vagrant? And I believe the titanium ones of these are on sale, and maybe the G10 ones. Don't hold me to any of that. I tried to remember everything, but I'm not sure. Anyway, this is the titanium version coming in S30V. We have a high polished sandblasted blade cut out for deployment. We have titanium for the handle, back spacer, and pocket clip, along with the anodized hardware. This thing has an incredibly well-tuned detent. It's pretty strong. If you can stay off the lock bar, you can thumb flick it. Takes a little practice to do that, and it's been a little bit since I carried this guy, but it is a fantastic knife. They chamfer that lock bar, and they put some micro jimping on there, which is a incredibly nice touch. I've carried this knife a ton. It's pretty beat up, but it's still one of my favorite Kubeys. Whether it's the G10 or this model, the Vagrant is a great utility user. And in this configuration, it is a nice mid-tier, mid-tier premium production knife. The Vagrant is awesome, and Kubey does a solid job on these builds. Next up, we have the Kubey Atlas. This is the G10 model. This is not full size either. 14C 28N on the blade steel, black wash sheepsfoot blade, fuller cutout, and rear flipper tab for deployment. We have blue G10 with all blacked out hardware and liners. Great access to that liner. Incredibly good action, guys, just like on most all the Kubeys. We have a deep carry steel rollover clip here that will be reversible. This is a great way to get yourself an Atlas if you can't find a titanium one, or you can't afford one just yet, but you like that design. This is a great way into getting one, and you're still getting 14C. Definitely a fantastic knife. Next up, we have the Kubey Momentum, and this bad boy is fantastic. I'm hoping they do this in a premium version someday. We have D2 steel, and this is kind of like a stonewash finish. We have dual thumb studs and a front flipper tab for deployment. We have black G10 handles. I believe these also fall into the sale if they're still available. Deep carry steel rollover clip that'll be reversible. Great access to that liner, and this thing has incredibly good action. Full size knife, fun to use, great drop point blade. I love this build, and I hope they do it in a premium version someday because it deserves it. A titanium liner lock with anything above S30V would be awesome. I'd love to see it from Kubey, and I hope they do it soon. Next one up, we have the Kubey Carve. And guys, this was my work machine for quite some time. You can see a little bit of marks and stuff on the blade, but for everything I've done to this knife, it has held up extremely well. Coming with a PVD coated D2 blade, this also falls into that sale. We have a fuller on both sides that you can thumb and reverse flick off of. Very nice detent. You also have a rear flipper tab on this guy. Nice Tanto blade shape. Very usable Tanto blade. We have Coyote Tan G10. All blacked out hardware. Very minimal hardware. Great access to the liner with a chamfer. We have a deep carry steel rollover clip, and this guy will be reversible as well. We have internal milling for weight relief. This is another fantastic knife if you are in the market for something like this. If you want to try something like whether it's a flipper or a fuller or a Tanto or a drop point or whatever it might be, this is a perfect way to do it very cheaply to see if you might like it. Whether it's a blade shape, an opening mechanism, whatever it is. It's a great way to try it and do it very cheaply. Next up, we have the Kubey Royal, and this is no stranger to anyone. This bad boy also has a premium version, but this one is in D2. This one falls under the sale as well if it's still in stock. We have a nice drop point blade, cutout, and front flipper for deployment, tuned very, very well. We have some very nice finished black G10. Great access to the liner, deep carry clip that will be reversible, lanyard hole, just a great build from Kubey and a great design from Colin Mason Pierre. Love the Kubey Royal, a fantastic knife. Next up, we have the Kubey Drake, and this one is in M390. We have a high polished, sandblasted sheep's foot blade. Just a great blade shape to be a user. We have a cutout, and we have a rear flipper. This thing is tuned extremely, extremely well. Whether you want a thumb, flick, reverse flick, just use the flipper. We have purple G10. This one will be hard to get. We have a titanium milled back pocket clip here. Open construction. This is a fantastic knife, and I think these are hard to get right now, but they do come in and out of stock. But the Kubey Drake can be found in many different sizes and a bunch of different configurations as far as its materials. Next up, we have the Kubey Ruckus, and now this one's coming in AUS 10. We have this nice spear point like drop point blade. We have dual thumb studs and a front flipper tab for deployment. Nicely tuned. This one has more of it is like a bead blast stonewash finish, but it's held up very well. I've had this knife for quite some time. We have copper for the bolsters, green G10 backspacer that's geared out. Deep carry clip here, going to be reversible. Great access to the liner. One of my favorite Kubeys that exist. The Kubey Ruckus can be found in many forms as well. It's a fantastic knife. Next up, we have the Kubey Hide. This is another Colin Mason Pierre design. I screwed up the deployment there. 14C 28N, stonewash blade, nice little drop point. We have a cutout and a top flipper for deployment there. Good access to the liner. Jimping on the liner. Blue G10, satin hardware, deep carry clip, reversible clip, good action. Nice little minimal secondary carry in my opinion. Could be a primary though for many people. A nice knife from Kubey. They just do a fantastic job. This thing is tuned very well. Been a while since I've carried this one as well. 14C though, G10 at these price points is absolutely insane. This is a fantastic knife from Colin and Kubey. Love it. Next up, we have another Colin Mason Pierre design. This is the Duroc. We have a sheep's foot D2 blade that's been black washed. We have red G10 liner lock. Great access to that liner. Nicely tuned. It also has some nice acoustics as well, which is impressive for a liner lock in this price point or a liner lock in general. We have a deep carry reversible clip, all blacked out hardware and liners. This is a great little utility user, and you can get these at a very low, affordable cost. Colin and Kubey are a match made in heaven. Next up, we have the Kubey Monster Dog, and this is a unique knife, guys, but it's a hell of a utility knife. Coming in with that sheep's foot blade, we have 14C 28N black wash finish. Just a unique looking boy here, but it's going to be a hell of a utility knife. We have these big old thumb studs, but boy, do they work, and man, are they comfortable. Good access to the liner. Could be better, but not bad at all. Easy to get to, easy to disengage. We have that blue G10 yet again, all blacked out hardware. Deep carry clip that'll be reversible. Lanyard hole. Great access, great action. A fantastic knife coming in 14C. They make it in a premium version as well. But I really like this knife, and I'll probably get the premium one someday. But look at that guy. Definitely a unique little EDC knife. Next up, we have a wild one. This is the Kubey Avenger D2 steel, crazy tanto blade that's been stonewashed. Flipper tab for deployment. They also make this in a premium version as well, but I'm sure this one is still in stock, or it was right before starting recording this, and falls into that D2 sale. We have blue G10 handles. Just a unique knife, but this is going to be geared for someone who might be in the trades and maybe a carpenter, because this is going to be a great knife for utility type work. Although you do have that higher point, it's going to be nice and pokey. You can chisel, scrape. You also have that nice straight edge for longer type cuts. Good action, just a unique knife, and coming in again at a crazy price. Next up, we got the big boy coming in, the full-size boy. This is the Kubey Atlas in titanium and S35VN. And just to give you an idea of what I was talking about, there's the G10 one. Like I said, it's not the full-size one. The titanium one is the full-size one. Both Jelly Jerry designs. We have a high-polished sandblast finish, S35VN. Sheep's foot blade, fuller into a cutout with a rear flipper tab for deployment. The detent is tuned masterfully on this guy. Nice usable jimping up here with the bare hand or a gloved hand as well. Nice sharpening choil. Like I said, guys, the action on this thing is incredible. Completely fall shut with a nice controlled fall shut. Great access with the lock bar there, chamfer and micro milling done. Just a great job. We have all titanium accents that have been anodized, the pocket clip, all the hardware screws, back spacer. Just a great looking knife, guys. This is going to be possibly hard to get. They come in and out of stock. They could be in stock on Kubey's site or elsewhere. Not in stock on Kubey's website, and you want this, maybe check White Mountain Knives. You can use GBall10 and get 10% off there. If you're looking at this knife, they have this one and an all blacked out one with gold hardware, I think. Both versions are fantastic and great looking. This is one of my all-time favorite Kubey knives right here, if not my favorite of all time. Now we have a little newer Kubey coming in. This is the Bluff. Their first attempt at a crossbar lock. We've done a couple videos with this in it, and we did the unboxing, of course. If you're interested, I will try to remember to link it up above. This bad boy is coming in 14C28N. We have that high polish sandblasted finish there on that guy. Fuller running into a cutout. Just the cutout for deployment. We have some fine jimping up there. We have textured G10 handles. Very nice milling on these guys. Open construction. We have a stonewash finish pocket clip, deep carry. It's going to be reversible for our lefty brothers out there. The crossbar lock will be changeable from stronger, medium to lighter, which is a nice touch from Kubey, kind of taking a play from Kaiser, which is a good play to take. The Kubey Bluff is a very new knife in their line. I believe they come in right around 50 to 60 bucks, which is a fantastic price point for a knife like this. So I'm hoping I remember everything. I think I have everything. This is the Kubey Drake in S90V, guys. And this has a special place in my collection and in my heart. This knife will never go anywhere. It can be very hard to get at times. S90V, this is the full-size version. Unlike the M390 version, that is the more shorter statured version, kind of like the Atlases, but there you can see the G10 and M390 is quite a bit smaller, and they did it in a couple other steels as well. This one has a nice titanium handle, some nice contouring, just a beautiful knife, guys. Milled tie, pocket clip, titanium backspacer, incredible action on this guy. Flipper tab for deployment along with the cutout. This is an incredible reverse flicker. Great access to that lock bar. Incredibly good action. This is a nice gent utility user in my opinion, but it's going to be full size, so don't forget that. See, it's a good thing I went and looked. We have a premium Kubey Ruckus here. Now, I do have the other version, which comes in AUS 10, but this one is going to be coming in CPM 20 CV. We have that high polished sandblast finish, drop point blade. We have the flamed titanium handle with the titanium accents. Full length, almost geared titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, going to be reversible. That same great access and action on this guy. Just a fantastic knife from Kubey and Sharif. Love the Ruckus. Great knife. Next up, we have the Kubey Veloce, also in that flamed titanium handle. Full length tie backspacer, guys. Titanium pocket clip, titanium hardware, another design from Sharif. Kubey knocked this guy out of the park. We're going to be getting S90V on the steel here for this guy, and this is definitely a poker. We have this really short drop point blade, going to be meant for poking, piercing, and slicing. We have a cutout and rear flipper tab, and the detent on this guy is tuned very, very well. This is another full-size knife, going to be a pretty big boy. I think that's all of them, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. We just went through 20 to 30 Kubeys, I think, and quite a bit of variation. Blade shapes, different sizes, different steel choices, different handle materials. They do a fantastic job. I think that's all of them. If I missed one, that is okay. And we're not even talking about the ones I have OEM'd by Kubey. This is just Kubey branded models. And I think that's all of them. Kubey does, guys, from their cheapest model all the way up to their most expensive models. They just do a fantastic job. Their OEM work is phenomenal, especially at the price point. From Devo knives, Tempest knives, New Breed, companies like that getting the best out of Kubey, doing a phenomenal job too, using premium materials, crazy prices. I will have Kubey linked down below, and I will link the coupon code down there as well. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.